All right. Have a few stories for you today. Saturday, August 9th, 2025. To give people a chance to get in here. They can watch. Have some interesting stuff for you. Trump burger owner arrested by ICE. Just because you have Trump on your business doesn't mean you're safe from deportation. If you have broken the law, I should say. What else do we have? Beto sued by Ken Paxton. Husband shoots Peeping Tom. A tragic story in Houston. Of course, Houston's always providing content, sadly. 77-year-old grandpa on his way to work on his bike in the morning was stabbed tragically by some nut job and died about 10 minutes later after he made it to the job, and he died tragically. Let's see if I have time for the rest of the stuff here. An aquarium. A young boy puts his arm in a tank with an octopus, and the octopus wrapped his arms around his arm, the boy's arm, and the mother's complaining. Stupid stuff. She should have never allowed it to happen. Yeah, but if I have time to get to another one about a tragic crash that happened, 5 young women from Dallas died in the situation, I will get to it. But I want to play this first from Trump burger in Houston getting arrested by ICE. Let's check it out.
HOU11 confirming the owner of Trump Burger Restaurants, which has several locations in the Houston area, has been arrested by Immigration and Customs Enforcement and now faces deportation. ICE says Roland Biani, a 28-year-old from Lebanon, overstayed his visa after entering the U.S. back in 2019. He was taken into custody in May and is now out on bond as he awaits immigration proceedings. In a statement sent to KHOU11, an ICE spokesperson told us, quote, under the current administration, ICE is committed to restore integrity to our nation's immigration system by holding all individuals accountable who illegally enter the country or overstay the terms of their admission. This is true regardless of what restaurant you own or political beliefs you may have.
I mean, not wrong about that, Doesn't matter what political beliefs you have. If you have broken the law or they have reason to believe you did, then you should be investigated for that. It doesn't matter if you have a big sign on the front of your restaurant saying you're a Trump supporter. If you name the restaurant after him, it doesn't matter. Let's read through the Daily Mail article real quick. MAGA co-founder of popular burger restaurant named in honor of Trump is ironically arrested by ICE. The co-founder of Trump Burger, a Texas-based fast food chain idolizing President Donald Trump and his hardline immigration policies, is now facing deportation himself. Roland Biani, a Lebanese immigrant who turned his loyalty to Trump into a MAGA-branded burger empire, has been accused of immigration fraud and notified by federal authorities that his green card is being revoked. The Department of Homeland Security confirmed Biani, I believe that's how you pronounce it, is under investigation over what has been described as a sham marriage designed to exploit U.S. immigration laws. The revelation has ignited controversy across Texas, where Biani has helped build a chain devoted to Trump's image, complete with impersonators, burgers stamped with Trump's name, and menu items mocking former President Biden. But the restaurateur, known for glorifying deportation policies, is now entangled in a potential deportation case of his own. An immigration court hearing has been set for November 18th, where Biani could be formally ordered to leave the country. U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services informed a woman claiming to be his wife that his I-130 application, the form used by American citizens to sponsor relatives for immigration status, would be revoked. USCIS reportedly found no lease, joint accounts, or other proof that the two were ever shared a life together. And there he is right there. Here's one of his locations. The burgers, I'm sure they were fantastic, but that's besides the point. All right. Thank you for tuning in, whoever's in here watching. Investigators say the woman's own family acknowledged the marriage was a sham. Biani's legal meltdown comes amid a torrent of litigation surrounding his beloved burger brand, Trump Burger, which has grown to 4 Texas locations and features everything from the Trump Tower Burger to the Melania Crispy Chicken. The gimmick is pure MAGA kits, excuse me, with many items named after Trump family members, burgers stamped with Trump's name on the bun, and the Trump impersonators roaming the dining rooms. From its early days, Trump Burger has designed to be a monument to American bravado, red meat, big slogans, and bigger portions. The brand itself was unapologetically conservative and unabashedly pro-Trump, down to the $50.99 Biden burger, which features a measly 1-ounce patty and is topped with old tomato and our oldest bun available due to cheating and inflation. Launched in 2020 in Belleville, Texas, Trump Burger was Beanie's love letter to the 45th president, a man whose hardline immigration stance include ICE raids and mass deportations. The man who slapped Trump's face on a hamburger called it freedom is now facing a fine to stay in the country. Turns out wrapping meat and patriotism doesn't automatically come with a green card renewal. His troubles appear with ICE to be just the beginning. He's currently entangled in at least 4 lawsuits, including a bitter feud over ownership with the Trump Burger brand itself. There he is right there. And then Donald Trump impersonator. Some more pictures here. Look, there goes Trump at McDonald's. Should have stopped. I don't think Trump actually wanted to ever stop in this place. Beanie claims that he purchased 50% stake in the original restaurant from the co-founder, Lyad Eddie Hawa. But he denies there was ever a formal agreement and is countersuing Beanie, seeking $1 million in damages. In a separate dispute, Beanie sued the property owner of Trump Burger's Kenmore location, Archie Patterson, after Patterson evicted him and changed the signage to read MAGA Burger. Beanie's former business partner, Beshara Jano, is also suing him for over $1 million in damages related to another venture. But the most brutal blow has come from Trump himself. This guy has some serious problems. Then, in February, the Trump organization sent a cease and desist letter to Beanie, demanding he stop using Trump's name and image, citing potential consumer confusion and unauthorized brand use. The restaurant is not endorsed by Donald Trump, the Trump family, or the Trump organization. Beanie's immigration court hearing is scheduled for November 18th, where a judge will determine whether the green card revocation stands and where Beanie will be deported. So yeah, it doesn't matter if you are a Trump supporter, you have a Trump restaurant, it does not matter. If they have reason to believe that you have broken the law here, then you could face deportation. And this guy seems like he has a lot of problems already going for him, with lawsuits with business partners and other people. And his own family members apparently said that the marriage that he was with this woman he was supposed to be married to was a sham. So it seems like the guy just has a lot of legal problems and he might be deported. Look, it doesn't matter to me what side you're on. If you're a Trump supporter or not, if there's reasons, like I said, there's reasons to believe that you've broken the law, then yeah. All right, so I want to move on from that. I thought that was pretty interesting. I think maybe he thought that was going to shield him from being deported or being questioned by ICE. I want to jump into Beto Jumpin' Jack Flap, 3-time loser. Court halts Beto bribes after Ken Paxton lawsuit. The TRO freezes further fundraising and expenditures while litigation continues. He goes Jumpin' Jack Flap. This guy is such a clown. He lost 3 times, lost a Senate race to Ted Cruz, didn't make it far in his presidential run, and he ran for governor and got smashed by Greg Abbott. So yeah, I want to keep reading here. Just hours after Attorney General from Texas Scorecard, just hours after Attorney General Ken Paxton filed a lawsuit against Robert Francis Beto Jumpin' Jack Flap, 3-time loser O'Rourke, and his group Powered by People, the Tarrant County District Court issued a temporary restraining order stopping what Paxton called an unlawful, deceptive financial influence scheme scheme to bankroll runaway Democrat lawmakers who fled the state to break quorum. Paxton alleges Jumpin' Jack Flap misled owners by soliciting money through political platforms like Act Blue under the guise of fighting Republicans while using funds to cover Democrats' personal expenses, including private jet travel, luxury hotels, and dining during the ongoing special session. The lawsuit claims the fundraising constitutes of bribery, violates Texas election laws against personal use of political contributions, and runs afoul of the Deceptive Trade Practices Act. The Beto bribe buyouts that were bankrolling the runaway Democrats have been officially stopped, said Paxton. People like Robert believe Texas can be bought. Today, I stopped his deceptive financial influence scheme that attempted to deceive donors and subvert our constitutional process. They told me to come and take it, so I did. The TRO freezes further fundraising expenditures while litigation continues. Paxton is also suing 13 Democrat lawmakers in the Texas Supreme Court to have their seats declared vacant. So we'll see how that plays out. Jumpin' Jack Flap is back in the news. This guy always seems to find All right, sorry about that. Seems like he always tries to find a way to make himself relevant. No matter what's going on, whether it's election time, he wants to run and lose, or he wants to get himself involved times. But he has to be the most annoying. He has to be the most annoying person here in the state of Texas. Maybe Jasmine Crockett is, and there are some others, but Beto just seems to latch on like a roach. He won't let go. All right, so now we will go to this tragic story right here. All right, this is wild. Down in Houston, a husband shoots a peeping Tom. Check it out.
Only on 13, an accused peeping Tom was met with bullets after smashing the window of a home in Meyerland this morning. The family inside said they called police, and then one of them was arrested. ABC 13's Luke Jones is live from HPD headquarters with this story, Luke.
Yeah, we're told a man's in trouble for shooting the accused peeper, who we're told was armed with a butcher knife and a hammer. Now, police aren't confirming that at the moment, only telling us there's one person potentially facing charges. To that man's relatives, though, they say he shouldn't be. It's a clear-cut case of self-defense. Handcuffed and limping, the man Keontae Davis says she saw peering through her bathroom window this morning at the Life at Jackson Square Apartments. We're not showing his face since he hasn't yet been charged with a crime.
He's asking me, do I have a cigarette?
Her brother-in-law scares him off, she says.
You can't stare through people's windows. That's weird.
But hours later, when Davis is already at work, her relatives say the man reappeared, smashing the window with a hammer.
My mom was in the bathroom as he busted. She thought somebody was shooting. That's how bad. Like she said she just dropped to the ground and started crawling.
This time, she says her brother-in-law runs outside to confront the man, who family members say was also armed with a butcher knife.
And shots just went off.
Darion Davis says her husband shot the vandal in the leg. Then they called police. They weren't expecting what happened next. Her husband arrested, she claims, told he'll be charged with aggravated assault.
I definitely don't think that he deserved that.
Should this man have been charged for this?
I think he deserved self-defense because that's what that was.
The accused peeper went to the hospital. Police haven't said if he'll face charges.
Blood like here.
Davis hopes he does. She says he's been squatting in this vacant apartment, and others tell us they've caught him peering in their windows too.
I literally am scared to actually be in these apartments or in this area anymore because HPD doesn't take anything serious. Like they just let everything go around here.
Now, last check, criminal charges hadn't posted for Davis's husband in publicly available court records, but his family says police took him away this morning and they haven't seen him since. Live downtown tonight, Luke Jones, ABC 13, Eyewitness News.
Crazy stuff, man. That guy shouldn't be charged for that. The Peeping Tom got exactly what he deserved. Well, we'll see how this plays out. I'm hoping that this guy gets off because he was defending his family. I think like any man would have done. You see this guy peeping through the window, then he comes back and he busts the window. I mean, total BS. Complete and total BS. All right, that's I don't know. I always find these crazy stories out of Houston. All right, so let's move on here to the next story. This is the Saturday live stream, by the way. Thanks for tuning in. I like doing these, give you some updates of what's going on around the Lone Star State. We've covered the Trump Burger owner being arrested by ICE and potentially facing deportation. The jumping jack flat Beto O'Rourke getting sued by Ken Paxton. And we have this Peeping Tom getting shot. So now we're going to move on to a Houston again, sadly. Look, I don't know what's going on with Houston, but
top of the hour, Houston police are searching for a suspect who they say stabbed a man who was riding his bike to work.
The 77-year-old victim was pronounced dead this morning at Memorial Hermann Hospital. The stabbing happened along the Harrisburg Trail near the intersection of Hagerman and Garrow.
Despite his injuries, the victim managed to reach his workplace on Drennan Street, where he told co-workers what happened before collapsing. Katira Winfrey is live at the scene of the attack, walking us through it all, and has the very latest. Katira.
Well, guys, police say the man was riding his bike around 5:30 this morning along the Harrisburg Trail when that suspect stepped out and stabbed him in the back. Police say that victim was able to drive an additional 10 to 15 minutes to work, but that suspect ran away heading south on Lockwood. Flowers and balloons sit here now, but it's at this spot where family members say 77-year-old Anival Patricio Elvira Ortiz collapsed about 15 minutes after he was stabbed. Surveillance video shared with KHOU shows the moment police believed it happened. Another angle shows the headlights reportedly from his bike moving across the intersection on the Harrisburg Trail. Houston police say the suspect got away.
We're going to try to put him in jail for that.
Family members who didn't want to talk on camera shared this photo, saying he preferred biking over driving and took this path daily.
Well, I heard the choppers real close by. I kind of was concerned what was going on.
Houston police were called to the Spencer Company where the victim worked at Canal and Drennan around 6 Thursday morning. Police say he told co-workers someone hit him in the back. He collapsed and died at a hospital.
Maybe about 10 more minutes, 15 more minutes. He rode a good long way. He might not have realized his injuries were so severe, and he just kept riding his bike, and then eventually he succumbed to his injuries.
Angel Reyes says this is a popular trail and was shocked to learn something so tragic happened steps from his front door.
Just devastating. I can just imagine just getting the news that, whether it be their father or, grandpa, all of a sudden just got stabbed and going to work, and I don't know, that's just horrible.
Yeah.
And right now, police do not have a motive in this case. However, the company where Mr. Ortiz collapsed did share a statement with me, in part sharing their thoughts and prayers for their valued team members, family, and friends. But police tell me they hope to release an image of the suspect soon. Reporting live in the East End.
I really hate seeing stuff like this. Yeah, that's another tragic situation on a trail. A report on the crazy former teacher here in DFW who went to Arkansas.
Now to new developments in a story we've been following.
Who went to Arkansas and was going to teach there and stabbed two parents in Devil's Den State Park in Arkansas. And we see stuff like this happening in Houston. I mean, you have to be careful on these trails. I mean, you don't think that things would happen like this because it's supposed to be peaceful.
We turn now to new developments in a story we've been following for the last 24 hours now. Police just released this video of the man they think stabbed a 77-year-old man who was riding his bike to work yesterday. Katira Winfrey first brought you this story yesterday morning, and she joins us live now with the very latest. Katira.
Steph, this is the Metro platform shown in surveillance video just shared by HPD this morning. When I spoke to police yesterday, they say the suspect took off south on Lockwood. Now, where this incident happened is only just a few minutes walk from the trail, the Harrisburg Trail. Now, again, take a look at the surveillance video the Houston Police Department shared, showing the suspect walking along this Metro train platform just yesterday morning. You can see the suspect is wearing a black shirt, hat, and appears to have a beard. They believe he's the man who stabbed 77-year-old Anival Elvir Ortiz on the Harrisburg Trail while riding his bike to his landscaping job. Officials say after being attacked, the victim managed to ride an additional 10 minutes to his job where he collapsed and later died. Surveillance video shared with KHOU shows the moment it happened. The timestamp on that video is only 4 minutes before the 5:48 timestamp at the Metro Rail. KHOU spoke exclusively to the victim's family. Here's what they had to say about their loss.
He's an honest man. He's a hardworking man, you know. Wakes up every time in the morning, goes to work, treats well my siblings. He's a loving father and grandpa.
And here's another look at the suspect. Police ask you to come forward if you have any information. And police right now do not have a motive for this case. But if you don't want to go to HPD, you can also give your tip anonymously to Crime Stoppers. Reporting live in Houston, Katira Winfrey, KHOU 11 News.
Huh. Man, that was sad. 77 years old, the guy's riding his bike to work. Still has a lot of energy, he could have lived another 5, 10, 15 years. The guy was going out making a living, just like a lot of other people do every day. Riding his bike, didn't feel the need to drive to work. He enjoyed he enjoyed that ride every day, as a landscaper, going to work as a landscaper. But it's tragic. I hate seeing stuff like that. And I really hope this guy gets caught. It's scary, the stuff that we're seeing. I don't know if you've been paying attention, but there have been a lot of crazy things the past week or so, 2 weeks, starting with that stabbing in Arkansas. We had a lot of other things happen since then, a few mass shootings, actually, maybe 3. The one in Georgia, and there was one in, can't think off the top of my head, but there have been a lot of mass shootings lately and stabbings. Crazy stuff, so be vigilant out there. They have a lot of cycles like this one I'm about to show you right now. Man who killed 5 Dallas women in Burnett County crash was flowing it in the wrong direction. Let's check this out.
Court documents say the driver, now charged in the deaths of 5 Dallas women, did not have a proper license for driving an overloaded truck. Hello, everybody. I'm Heather Hayes.
And I'm Steve Eager. It's 9 o'clock. The crash last month happened on U.S. Highway 281, that's Burnett County, near Austin. An arrest affidavit for Cody Talley also revealed he was not complying with requirements from his past DWI convictions. Fox 4's Peyton Yeager has more from these documents. Peyton.
Steve, yeah, we've been following this story day by day, and today we have some new information. Deputies say they have Cody Talley on body camera admitting he was the driver of the truck. However, by the time DPS troopers arrived on scene, Talley wasn't there. Still unclear how he wandered off or how he was able to get away. He wasn't booked into jail until 11 days after the crash.
New details reveal 37-year-old Cody Talley's lengthy criminal record includes 2 driving while intoxicated convictions. That means Talley was required to have an ignition interlock device, also known as a breath, in his vehicle. Have one when troopers say Talley crashed his Ram truck and horse trailer into 2 vehicles last month, killing 5 Dallas women on their way to a girls' trip. An arrest warrant affidavit Fox 4 obtained on Thursday also says Talley didn't have the proper driver's license to even pull the trailer. Talley now faces 5 counts of manslaughter. On July 25th, Texas DPS says Talley veered into oncoming traffic on Highway 281 in Burnett County, first slamming into a Chevy Malibu and then a Mercedes SUV. The SUV flipped and caught on fire. All 5 women in the SUV were pronounced dead at the scene, including 23-year-old Thalia Salinas. Fox 4 spoke with her brothers on Wednesday.
There's no words to describe how much I miss her.
According to the Burnett County Sheriff's Office, a deputy made contact with Talley, who admitted he was the driver of the Dodge Ram. Talley provided his name, date of birth, and driver's license number. However, Talley took off before troopers arrived, never tested for drugs or alcohol. Plus, Talley's car data showed he accelerated prior to the first impact with the Malibu. A witness sent Fox 4 this photo of the crushed red Chevy Malibu. The 2 men inside, a father and son, survived. Cell phone video shows 51-year-old Cody Burton of Burnett being care flighted with a broken hip and leg. His son, 20-year-old Dylan Burton, also taken to the hospital with cracked ribs and a broken sternum. Both grateful to be alive.
I had a chance to speak with that father over the phone today who is inside the Malibu. He still remains in a rehab facility. He's going to be there for the next few weeks. He tells me his 20-year-old son has been released from the hospital. He also says his 20-year-old son was the one actually driving the Chevy Malibu, the father in the passenger seat. That son able to swerve at the last second to avoid being hit straight on. Steve?
Crazy stuff, man. This is why, drivers are crazy out there. One reason why I'm not a huge fan of road trips is because of things like this. There's a lot of people on the road who are just reckless, who shouldn't be driving. And I think people with all these, I think there should be harsher punishments for driving under the influence of alcohol, driving while intoxicated. People should not be allowed to drive. I think there should be, the first time you hit somebody or you get caught drunk driving, I think the punishment should be a lot stricter than what it actually is right now in the state of Texas and across the country, because this happens far too often. I just did a story the other day on a drunk driving illegal alien, shouldn't have been in the first place, in New Jersey, sanctuary state. So they contribute to that problem because the guy had a history of drunk driving and domestic violence. And so by them being a sanctuary state, they wouldn't allow ICE to go in and detain him after he committed these other crimes. He was back out in the streets and slammed into a mother and daughter who were just going to get milkshakes at 11 o'clock at night. Something as innocent as that turned to his tragedy because some nut job who shouldn't have been in the country was back on the streets with a history of drunk driving and domestic violence. Should never happen. All right, but I'm going to close out with this story right here. This mother is upset because, oh my gosh, so stupid. Her son put his arm inside of an octopus tank in the aquarium, and the octopus wrapped its arm. I know all people think it's tentacles, but octopuses have arms, not tentacles. But that's besides the point. It's wrapped around the kid's arm. So let's check it out.
The San Antonio Aquarium is blaming a Texas mom for that now viral encounter between her 6-year-old and a giant Pacific octopus in the touch tank.
It felt like my mom and the octopus were playing tug of war with my arm.
The octopus latching onto Leo's arm, leaving these marks behind. Brittany Tarrant sharing her son's frightening experience on TikTok. Her video viewed millions of times.
I had no reason to believe that this would happen.
She says her goal has always been to advocate for the octopus and push for safer conditions.
If they don't want anyone leaning over the glass, they need to have a sign there that says, "Do not lean over the glass."
Okay, that's just, isn't that just common sense? You shouldn't allow your son to put his arm in an octopus tank. I mean, it's a wild animal. Just because there are not signs there doesn't mean doesn't mean that you're allowed to do it. I mean, how stupid is that? Am I just crazy here? I don't know, but let's keep going.
But the San Antonio Aquarium is now painting a different picture, issuing a statement that places blame on her, saying reaching the octopus requires a person to fully lean over the wall of the enclosure. In this instance, the guest leaned her child over the exhibit barrier, allowing him to reach into the habitat without staff supervision. Going on to say our staff responded promptly to assist. Brittany is pushing back, claiming there were no employees staffing the exhibit at the time, and that the octopus latched on with enough force that it eventually took 3 employees to remove it.
It was probably just exploring and wasn't trying to do anything overly aggressive. But the thing is that doesn't take away from the impact that can have on this kid or this family. So we don't want to minimize that.
And as for Leo, he's doing better, but is still thinking about that octopus, hoping it's okay.
Leo's goal in all of this has been to make his octopus have a better rest of its life.
And so the aquarium also claims that mom declined medical assistance for Leo, but she says it was never offered. They say that the octopus is healthy and well cared for, saying that the animals are highly intelligent and curious creatures, also what that expert pointed out as well. But you got to give it to Leo. He had such a good attitude.
Sweet little Leo. So you're allowed to touch, but only if someone's there.
Only with the staffer. That's what the aquarium is saying this morning.
Thank you, Morgan.
Okay, makes sense. Only with the staffer. Yeah. Makes sense because they know what to do. Yeah, they know how to handle these situations. But I'm going to leave that right there. If you're just tuning in, feel free to go back. Trump Burger owner arrested by ICE, possibly facing deportation. Tragically, a 77-year-old man was stabbed in the back by a nut job on a biking trail when he was on his way to work. Didn't make it. About 10 minutes after he got stabbed, he collapsed at work and died. We have Beto Jumping Jack Flat being sued by Attorney General Ken Paxton here in the state of Texas. The husband shoots a peeping Tom, and the husband gets arrested in Houston. Houston's out of control. A nut job tragically killing 5 women, Dallas women, on their way to a girls' trip. Sad stuff, but there are some updates for you in the state of Texas. I like to do these on Saturdays. I'll be back next week. I should be. I'll be back next week or the following week, yeah. And then if you want to, you can check out my other videos. In the meantime, I post during the week. It's regular uploads, 7 to 10, 15-minute videos, sometimes 20, depending on what the story is like. But most of my videos are about what's going on in the state of Texas. And I do a lot of immigration stuff and other crazy crime stories and various things around the country as well. So I will leave that right there. Like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Thank you. Take care.